We are here today with Kevin Klowden, Director of the California Center at the Milken Institute and author of the report, California's Position in Technology and Science. Welcome, Kevin.
Greetings.
From the report, it looks like California's high-tech industries are still gaining ground. Is that the case?
Well, overall, California is still performing very well, but there are some troubling concerns, particularly in terms of the area of human capital.
What is meant by human capital investment?
Human capital investment is putting money towards the future workforce of the state. That means not only the actual commitment of resources in terms of funding, but what level of education of the workers the state is producing, in terms of what percentage of the workforce has bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, postgraduate degrees, what number of the state workers are coming out of college with engineering degrees and various other science degrees that are desperately needed in the tech and science area.
Well, how does California rank compared to other states?
California has managed to maintain its fourth position, which is very good. However, the gap between it and leader Massachusetts is growing.
Tell us about the state's institutions in the area of research and development.
California continues to be one of the great national leaders in research and development. There are national labs here, there's still industry research in a significant degree, including by foreign corporations, and there are a number of great state research universities. However, California slipped a bit in terms of attracting federal funding for research, even as it's maintained its position in other areas.
How is the venture capital scene here in California?
Well, overall venture capital is not in wonderful shape considering the effects of the last couple of years, but in California is still the leader by far in most respects. Only Massachusetts, on a per capita basis, ranks ahead of California. But in terms of absolute capacity, California is the leader not only for the country, but the world.
Does California today have the workforce employers need?
Absolutely. California still has an incredibly high number of qualified and talented individuals. The issue is connecting those individuals with the employers. And also the concern is being able to find the recent graduates, and that's the area where we have some concerns.
Tell us about the strengths of the tech sector overall in California.
Well, you mentioned venture capital, which is certainly a significant element. But California is also a great center for business starts. As a matter of fact, on a per capita basis, California ranks second in that, and for a state as huge as it is, that's a very significant indicator of the fact that people still like and want to do business here in the state, especially from small entrepreneurs.
What do you believe are the greatest challenges facing California? What should the state do?
The biggest concern is being able to fund human capital development in the future. With all the budgetary problems the state has been facing and all the cuts to higher education, there are two big concerns that have happened. One is that there won't be enough money to fully fund the programs that we need in terms of sciences, engineering, and so on for high technology. And the other is that the workforce tomorrow won't be able to afford the education of today because of the dramatic increase in fees.
Is this only a college and university problem, or do you see it affecting middle school and high school?
This is a problem all the way across the spectrum of education. K-12 in particular is also affected because if we don't have enough funding for teachers to allow them to have the resources to give attention to students, to encourage them into fields such as engineering, science, mathematics, that the high-tech workforce so desperately needs, we're going to see problems not only in the near term and the midterm, but in the long term as well.
Overall, are you optimistic or pessimistic about California's technology and science future?
Overall, California still has amazing potential. People want to do business here. The capacity for innovation is still clearly in the state. What we need to do is make sure that the resources, both for the people and for the businesses, are there so that they can continue to do so in the future.
What should the state do?
The state needs to figure out a means to more effectively fund both the colleges and universities and to keep the rate increases the last several years from happening further. That means getting its fiscal house in order. And that means figuring out a way to fund education consistently so that we have the workforce we need not only to compete against leaders such as Massachusetts and Maryland and Colorado, but against countries overseas who are just as big a concern for California now as anybody in the U.S.
Where can we get a copy of the report?
You can go to our website at milkeninstitute.org.
Well, terrific. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Certainly.